What's up, everybody? Ty Bartellen with another edition of Player Profile. This time I'm with one of the Falcon seniors, Samantha Severn, over at Austintown. Fitch joining me today. Sammy, how we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad, and you're not doing too bad either on the floor and in the classroom once again this year. Let's just talk about the basketball side of things. Over 12 points per game, and you're one of the leaders in your team on the floor and in the huddle. Just talk to me about your senior season, developing that leadership voice, and also just being able to play with full confidence, putting it all together on the floor this year.
Well, I knew after losing a lot of our core players last year, especially us because they were seniors, we knew that I really had to step up my with like voice wise and confidence wise. I knew I had to become one of the primary scorers this year, so my confidence definitely had to come up compared to the last couple years. So yeah.
Talk to me about building that confidence, because just in that post game interview I had with you yesterday, or the other day, I told you that you night and day difference from freshman year to now too, and just how confident you are as a speaker, how you play the game too, and just how you approach everything. It feels like, what was that like building that confidence for you? How were you able to build that confidence up over the years?
It was definitely a journey because I am somebody who's definitely looking for verbal appreciation and support, and I feel like seeing success help like for my work helps me grow more confident in like certain areas. I've never been the most confident person with myself, so seeing myself succeed in different platforms just has definitely helped me to grow out. People's support too. A lot of my friends, my family, my coaches, they're very supportive, and that definitely helps boost it up a little bit. So yeah.
We talk about you all the time too, Sam. And just you're one of the few players I feel like is too humble and too humble to a fault too, because you never give yourself enough credit in what you're able to do as an athlete or as a student as well. When we talk about you in the sport of basketball, when did this journey start? When was the first chapters written for you? When did you first fall in love with the sport of basketball?
I mean, I've been playing since I was, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years old. Liz, Rachel, and I, we used to play at Old North Church together, and it was like it was like a cutesy little like organization that we all played together with, and that's where it all started. Was that little church gym. Since then, I just kind of fell in love with it. Our parents coached us throughout the years, mine and the Spaldings. We just learned to grow some love for the sport through all the good experiences we had growing up with it.
What was it like just to have Liz and Rach along with you literally every step of the way in your basketball journey?
I mean, I would call them my second and third sisters. We are honestly, I'm probably with them more than I'm with my own family. So growing up with them all the time was just something I was very lucky to have, because it's just people I could look for to support me and each other. And it was just, we got lucky. I got lucky.
You talk about the great friend group that you surround yourself with too, and I'm a firm believer of you are who you surround yourself with. When you talk about your determination in the sport, and just the way you've gotten better in both sports too, in all sports you participate in, it's been impressive too. What kind of work did you have to put in to get to see that improvement too? Because I know you put a lot of work into the classroom side of things. How much extra time did you have to put into the sports side of things to see the improvement you did?
Definitely a lot of off-season work. Summertime every day. It was whether it was open gyms, just shooting my driveway. I mean, softball wise, I probably went hitting twice a week during the summertime. We playing like multiple sports. I don't have a weekday or a weekend off, so just it's just all that extra work that I wanted to put in, I guess.
How do you have the discipline through it? Because there's got to be days where you wake up and you're like, man, I really don't want to go to practice, or man, I really don't feel like doing this. How do you have the discipline through those days where you don't want to do it?
Yeah, my my mom definitely helps me out with that. The days I'm like, I really don't want to go to practice, but she's like, hey, you're not going to get any better in any other way. And other than that, I know I can't do that, and she's basically taught me that. So
What's that relationship like with your mom too? I always see her too. She's always the scorekeeper, and I feel like she's been for years now for Fitch basketball. She's one of your biggest supporters, I know too. But what's that relationship been like with her, having her in your corner?
it's really good. It's nice that I mean, she's there forever. I don't think she missed a game maybe all my 4 years of playing high school basketball. So I think that her being there for me is just, it couldn't ask for more.
I talked about you on the academic side of things, and I want you to be able to shout out your GPA and just some of the things you've been able to do in high school too. The amount of scholarships you've gotten has been impressive too. Shout out your GPA. Shout out some of your favorite teachers too in high school.
Yeah, so I have a 4.0, and then I honestly couldn't be where I am without a lot of the teachers that we have here at Fitch. Miss Herberger, my pre-calc teacher, Miss Sabanik, my stats and my calculus teacher, Mr. Drummond, he is my government and microeconomics teacher. I mean, the list just goes on forever. Mrs. Carcelli, my junior English teacher, they've all just really inspired me to keep my head up and stay focused on my education, and that's really what's gonna bring me success in the future.
I know you always are stressing about the educational side of things. You gotta get that 92 up somehow, right? You can't be slacking. No, Sam, I love the way you approach school too, and I love the way you approach academics, and I think that group too, you and the Spaldings too. You girls, I said it to Coach Bob the other night too. I was like, you are what I would want my daughter to be like. You are the type of girls that the
Thank
younger ladies are ones that they should look up to. And you guys have a great connection with the youth basketball players and the youth players in general. What's that kind of been like too to form those connections with the younger girls too, the middle school girls too, when they're able to be at your games and practices and support you?
it's really nice just seeing the whole program get along together. It's like big sister, little sister. Seeing the little kids at AIS and AMS, it's and like seeing them play, and I don't know, I just feel like it brings back memories for me playing there, and seeing our inspiration on those little kids just really makes it all brings it all together.
When we talk about you and just the interviews I've gotten to have with you over the years, I think I remember one key one a couple years ago where you just talk about being a big ball of anxiety too. And I think there was a softball one too, and dealing with anxiety. How has that been like for you too? Because you talk about playing with an all-time high confidence. Obviously, with that, you have to battle the anxieties that come with sports too. How has that worked? How have you been able to work through your anxieties too of just the moments that come with sports too, the high pressure cooking moments that come with sports, because you're called Sammy Buckets for the clutch moments you have on the court, and you also have had some of the most clutch hits in softball. So despite all the anxiety, you still find a way to come through. How do you battle the anxiety to come up in big moments?
I mean, my anxiety definitely has not improved at all. I think I've just learned to cope with it more. Experiencing these huge moments has just been like, a little bit like it's like learning moments, like state. I mean, my sophomore year, my stomach was literally tied in several knots, and just actually getting on the field and playing definitely taught me how to relieve that anxiety, and it just helps me each time I experience something like that. It just allows me to grow and battle it more.
You talk about a 4.0 GPA. You talk about the amount of scholarships that you've gotten. You talk about state championships in softball, going to districts for the first time in years in girls basketball. The amount of things you have accomplished both on and off the court has been something amazing. Have you ever had a chance to reflect on the things you've done so far?
I mean, I guess I really haven't thought about everything, not as a whole, I guess. So it kind of puts it all into perspective that I guess it's a good high school career that we all lived out as a team, as a school, everybody.
I know you're going to build a lasting legacy after your high school career, but I hope that it is one day something you look back onto and realize how cool of an experience that you've gotten to experience both in the classroom and on the field and the court as well. What are some of the plans after high school? I know you announced it the other night too. I know you kind of formally announced it as well too. But for anyone that doesn't know, what's the future plans for Samantha Severn?
I think I want to go to YSU and pursue a degree in nursing, and then hopefully from there become a nurse practitioner or something like that.
Well, you picked a really good school to go for nursing too. I hear a lot of great things about YSU. What kind of kept you close to home too? I know you've been able to work a ton of scholarships. You're basically almost going their full ride. It feels like with the scholarships you've been able to work.
Honestly, that's exactly what it was. That and family. Between the money aspect of it, in all honesty, it makes sense for me personally to just stay home, stay local. My family works at YSU. I have a lot of family. All my whole family lives around Youngstown, so I would like to stay around here.
Now we talked about sports to post, and I know it's something you've always kind of weighed. You battled it out. I know Coach Bob and I agree. You're plenty good enough to play college softball too, and if that was ever something you wanted to pursue, but it's something where it doesn't look like that. You want to go more the academic route too. Talk to me just about what that's like too, weighing that decision and realizing you want to kind of put a bow on the sports career and pursue something else.
Yeah, I definitely heavily consider playing softball in college. This summer, I decided to join another travel team that was definitely looking more so into tournaments that revolved around showcasing. But ultimately, like we talked about before, the money at YSU just was something too good to deny, and it's something to pass up. Like I couldn't do pass that up. So staying local was just honestly the best option. And with playing softball, you never know where I'd end up, whether it be D3, D2. So I don't know. It's just for me, it just seemed the best decision. I'll definitely miss the sport, and capping it all off with my high school career between basketball and softball and my very short tennis career. Um, it was just a good way to end, I think.
YSU too. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe you should be looking Severn's way too. She comes up in the big moment. She could hit. She could field too. She could do it all. No, when we talk about though nursing though, and nursing in general, nurse practitioner, what kind of weighed in on that decision and made you pick that route?
I've always loved like the way they help people. Obviously, I spent a lot of time in the hospital as a kid. My brother unfortunately has a couple complications, health complications. So I've definitely had my fair share of hospital time, and seeing the way that some of these nurses and doctors affected his positivity, his mood, it was like a transforming moment. It was like a realization of that's what I want to do. I want to help kids. I want to make them feel better in moments of toughness and all that.
It fits and aligns perfectly with your character. I feel like too, and the type of person that you are.
Yep.
When you talk about being a leader too, and some of the biggest things you learned about yourself in becoming a leader, what do you think those are too, from freshman year to senior year, the things you had to develop to become the leader you are today?
I definitely had to develop a voice. I was a shy one freshman year. I was definitely looking up maybe too much to the seniors for some guidance, but throughout the years, I've definitely developed a sense of like trust in myself, trust in others, coaches, and stuff like that to develop that sense of leadership.
When you talk about some advice you give to freshmen on the team, maybe even some girls younger that are looking to be in the sport too, it's a sport too that across the board, so many school systems are seeing declining numbers too, and at the high school level. What's some advice you would give to the players too that you think could keep them in the sport too? In your opinion, what are some things that can keep girls involved in basketball throughout the years and keep them involved into the high school level?
I just think it's playing high school basketball. It's so worth it. The friendships you develop, the perseverance that you develop, the learn to fail, like you learn to fail and grow from your failures. Anything like that. It's just playing high school basketball is almost it gives you every lesson in life that you could lack in other and by not playing. Like if you don't play, I mean, keeping you in it is just going to show you like guidance throughout like the next 4 years.
And it's one of those sports too. Like I always say, you get out of it what you put into it. And I know you put a lot of work into all the sports that you participated in. When you talk about what you're going to do with your time, I know nurse practitioner is going to take up a lot of your time too. But when you talk about just time management skills and what you do with your time too, how have you been able to develop those and learn those over the years? What's that skill been like for you to develop?
Yeah, it's definitely very difficult. I mean, I have a job on top of it. And I feel like I said, yeah, I work at Barry Dingles. I also played, like I said, travel softball. So it's a lot to manage. But growing up in this busy lifestyle with three siblings, all who have their own like specialties, growing up this way is definitely just kind of it's the normal. It's the normal. So I've just learned to. I haven't had a day off maybe in since July. So it's nothing new. It's nothing I expect any. I mean, it's just regular life to me, and I just learned to grow from it.
Just thrive in chaos is what you do, Sarah. You just thrive in chaos. I want to give you the chance to spotlight all the people that have been there to support you. Some names that you want to give a shout out to and get some love to that have been there with you on this journey.
Yeah, like I mentioned, Liz and Rachel have been by my side since day one. They're second and third sisters, like I said. My coaches, I have Coach Rochek, Coach Ward, every coaching staff I've ever had. Honestly, they've all just kind of made me who I am today. They've made me grow as a person. My parents, my grandma, she's always supporting me in athletics, academics, everything you can imagine. My siblings, basically, I'm just lucky to have everybody who's in my life around.
Well, they're also lucky to have you, Sam. You are an impact person for the community, for your teams, and I can't wait to see what you do after high school because I think it's going to be 10 times greater than the things you've done in high school, which has already been pretty great. It's been a senior edition of one of the senior basketball players for Austintown Fitch, Samantha Severn.
Thank you.